There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys.
Hi.
Again, thank you, Tim, for doing this. Really appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure.
We'll probably have the first, probably till about 3:05 of just kind of everybody jumping in. They might be just chatting with each other right now, but we'll probably wait till 3:05 to give everybody a chance to make sure they get in properly. Sometimes they have a little hard time.
Okay.
To make sure they get into the Zoom, and then at 3:05 we'll kind of do a little question and answer with
Sure.
yourself and the kids, and then we'll get started mixing. I know some people are watching, some people are mixing brownies. I personally didn't have brownie mix. I'm doing some other stuff. I'm doing muffins and cookies just to take part. And then after we're done mixing and putting the things in the brownie tin, I guess, baking.
Hey, you got Bobby on.
And we put it in the oven. Instead of sitting around for 45 minutes, we'll probably do a short chat at the end as well.
Yeah.
And then sign off, encouraging the kids to go on to Instagram to post pictures of their finished products.
Okay.
Alrighty?
Yeah, sounds good.
So feel free, you guys, to get ready. You can get prepared, anything you guys need to. At 3:05, we'll start a little question and answer session with Tim. Okay?
All right.
All right, guys.
Cool.
Okay. Okay, little kitty. Hi, Mom. I'm gonna have this spread out of on hand.
Hi, Riley.
Don't you should make brownies. Yeah, that's right. You stink. Cassie, you're muted. Oh, there you are.
Again. Do cat machine. No, not that one. Again.
Hi, Kimmy. What do you want me to do? Casey, what do you want me to do? Casey. Hi. What do you want me to do?
Hey, Brad. Your cat machine.
Where is the cat? There you are.
Emojis.
All right, guys, we got a big crew coming in. So we're going to sit tight for about 5 minutes and let everybody join for a little bit before we get started. So don't feel rushed or anything like that. You guys got 5 minutes before we do anything. And the first thing we're going to do is just a quick question and answer session. So take your time and get ready, okay? I'll be right back.
Don't move.
It'd be entertaining.
Hi, Tatum. Hi,
Don't
move.
Mom is there.
Oh, hi, Grady.
Then don't step on the knife.
Hi, Casey. I'm using glasses. Oh, hi, Kimmy. Oh, Michaela.
Hi.
Oh, hi, Tegan. Really missed you. Tegan cracks on head. Hey, Maddie.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Good.
Hi, Maddie. I really miss you. Hi, Maddie. Hold it.
You're making us.
I don't need any money. Hi, Maddie. I need 4. I say 4. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, hold on.
Once we get going, we need to point everything this way. So we can, and then,
No, you don't want him to try to fight.
Hold on a minute.
I made 2.
Oh.
Brother Parker's not matter.
Let's go on with brownies. Oh, hi, Aaron.
Hi.
I really miss you. Exciting. Gonna hang out with you today.
Hold on.
Exciting. Hey, Kirsten. Mackenzie. Hi, Mackenzie.
Hi.
What's up? Kirsten? Hear me? Hey, Kirsten.
Bobby, how are you gonna tell Riley to put your camera on when yours is off?
I told no one about it.
Wait.
2 minutes. In 2 minutes, we'll start a little chat, a little question and answer session with Chef Tim.
Hey, Arthur.
But for now, you guys can say hi to each other and check up and check in and catch up.
Riley, I didn't see you. Where's Riley? Riley? Hey, where are you? Oh, Riley, come on. I miss you. Come on. You gotta be kidding me. Maddie, nice shirt.
Thank you.
I'm so excited. Maddie, I'm so excited to hang out with you today at 7 p.m.
Oh, I'm so excited too. It's gonna be so much fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I wanted to
Our oven's nice and heated up. If you guys haven't done so yet, check out the ingredients list on Instagram.
I'm looking at that right now. I don't have eggs. That's the only thing I don't have.
Hi, Granny.
So the ingredients list was on Instagram, if you guys were looking for that still.
It's brownies.
I know the like really tiny ones that you and Gus made the other day.
Hey, Riley.
Kayla.
Hi.
If you guys haven't done so yet, preheat your oven to 350.
Something on there. It's really
Milk. Milk.
Oh, brownie pie.
All right, guys. Whenever Tim is ready, I was going to let him kind of explain what's going on today and give you guys a chance to ask some questions and him give some answers. All right. So, Tim, you have the floor.
All right. Well, hi, everyone. Can everyone hear me?
Yes. Hello.
Awesome.
Hello.
So, nice activity on a perfectly rainy day outside. So, I make some brownies today. I said first thing you should do is get your oven preheated for 350 degrees. If you're using a glass like pan like this or a dish, you'd actually want to set your oven a little bit lower to 325. The reason is that glass actually transfers more heat to whatever item that you're baking, so and it cools down slower, so you know it gives you, there's less room for error if you like overcook. So if you have a glass one, set it a little bit lower of a temperature.
Here, 1 second, Tim. Let me just mute the room and then unmute you.
Sure. All right. Everyone still hear me? Thumbs up? All right, cool. I mean, we can open it up at questions, I guess. You know, like you said, Brent, if anybody had any questions, or if they don't have, or if they have some ingredients that they have like substitutions for, so we can kind of get those out of the way first.
Sure. If anybody has a question. If you have a question, raise your hand up. All right, Maddie. All right, Maddie.
I can't hear.
We can't hear you, Maddie.
Maddie needs her headphones, I believe.
Eggs, but I really want to make them.
So if you don't have eggs?
Yeah. Is that a problem? If it is, it's not a big deal, but.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's kind of like one of the main ingredients in it.
I know, it's like the worst thing not to have. But...
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
All right, go get a chicken, quick, go.
All right, I'll go find one. All right, that's fine. Figured I'd ask.
Yeah.
All righty, anybody else have a question? Just raise your hand up on the screen. Any questions?
Robert.
Bobby.
Can we just use brownie mix?
You can use brownie mix if you don't have the rest of the ingredients. Just follow the instructions on the box.
Okay.
For instance, I'm using cookie and muffin mix today because that's all I got. So I'm just to take part and have fun.
Yeah, that's cool. But you're missing out because these are way better than
Really good
brownies.
Oh, I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous. All righty. So who has another question? All right, guys.
All right, good to go.
All right, let me open it up for a little bit, just in case anybody wants to speak up. Anybody have any questions or wants to speak up?
I guess a little bit confused on what to preheat it at.
What was the question?
Hold on, let me mute all. Grady, what was that?
I was a little bit confused on what to preheat it at.
Ooh, let me unmute.
Preheat the oven at.
Yeah, 350 degrees.
Okay, 350.
All right, guys. So I think we'll, if everybody's ready, we'll have Chef Tim take it away and begin our session.
All right, cool.
Just real quick, so you guys know, everybody's going to remain on mute, with the exception of Chef Tim. If anybody has a question, you can unmute yourselves. And then after you're done, just mute yourself again, and then mute yourself when you're not asking questions. That way we can just hear Chef Tim really good. All right, guys?
All right. So just going through the ingredients list, I have semi-sweet chocolate chips that I'm using for this today. You can also use dark chocolate chips if you have those, or you can use milk chocolate chips as well. The differences with those is if you have dark chocolate, it's a little bit more bitter. Yeah, you can use you can use mix, that's fine too. If you have dark chocolate, it's a little more chocolatey and has less sugar in it. So you're gonna have like a more chocolatey brownie. It's gonna be a little bit more decadent. If you're using milk chocolate, that is gonna be a little sweeter and not as chocolatey, and it also has milk in it too. So you might get a creamier texture with the brownies by using milk chocolate. I have 2 sticks of butter, which is going to equal 1 cup. I'm using unsalted butter. If you're using salted butter, The one thing with this recipe is you're going to omit or not put in the salt that's in the recipe as well, just because you don't want it to be too salty. I'm using baking chocolate. This is Ghirardelli 100% chocolate. So this is going to be super chocolatey, unsweetened. There's not going to be any additional sugar because I want like a super chocolatey brownie. Regular granulated sugar. If you have brown sugar, you can also substitute that. I'm going to use 3 eggs, large, and I'm going to use 1 yolk from the 4th egg, the yellow part. Then I have vanilla extract, and I'm going to be using salt because I have unsalted butter. So first step on this is we're going to put our 2 sticks of butter. So, and then equipment wise, so you have 2 bowls. You need 1 microwave safe because we're going to be microwaving the butter and the chocolate together. 1 other bowl that you can mix all the other ingredients in. You have your pie pan or like dish. So I'm using glass. If you're using metal, you would set your, if you're using metal one, something like this, you can use a cake pan, or if you have a square one, that's also good. You're going to set your oven to 350 using metal. If you're using a glass dish, like a Pyrex dish, you're going to want to set your oven a little bit lower, like I mentioned previously, to like 325. And then on top of that, I have my electric egg beater. You can also use the KitchenAid mixer if you have one, if you're privy to one, which I'm really jealous if you do because I don't have one. Or if you need one, or just have a whisk, you can use a whisk too if you don't have an electric mixer available. It's going to be really hard to do one of the steps on this, so you would just, and we'll get to that when once we get to that step. So the first thing everyone's going to do using your microwave safe plastic bowl is you're going to place your butter in the bowl with the 1 cup of chocolate chips. That's going in there. And then we're going to add our baking chocolate in there too. You can also use cocoa powder. I didn't mention that before. If you're using cocoa powder, you'd want to add a little bit more butter to the recipe because you want like some fat to make this like a rich, really kind of fudgy brownie. If you're using cocoa powder, it's going to have like the right amount of chocolate flavor to it, but it's going to be a little dry, the brownie. It's going to be more of a cakey brownie than a fudgy brownie. I personally like my brownies like a little bit more fudgy or a little bit more decadent. But these ones, the way we're making them is going to be a little bit light. So what I've done is I've broken up my baking chocolate into the bowl with the chocolate chips and the butter. And now what we're going to do
Hey, Tim.
is put this, yep.
Good question from Miss Brady, who, oops, sorry, 1 second. She wanted to know if white chocolate was okay.
Yeah, you can use white chocolate too. It's going to be more of a blondie than a brownie, but it's still going to be good. Those will probably be a little bit sweeter. I think white chocolate is a little bit sweeter than dark chocolate, but yeah, you can use white chocolate too. Great question. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in increments here. We're going to start with 1 minute in the microwave with the chocolate, and we're going to melt that together. The reason we're going to go slow is because microwaves operate at, you know, kind of a high level of heating. So you don't want to burn the butter or burn the chocolate while you're trying to melt it. So start with 1 minute, give it a stir, and then do 30-second increments beyond that until everything's smooth and you get a nice, everything's smooth together and you get a nice like shiny chocolatey liquid.
So Grady had a question, and it looks like, I'm not sure if he spelled it right, but it says Kutch Doctor Powder. Let me verify that with Brady, or Grady, sorry. Grady, what was your question?
How much cocoa powder?
Oh, if you're using cocoa powder, good question. So you'd use half a cup plus, you'd use like 3/4 of a cup of cocoa powder versus if you're not using like baking chocolate, just so you get the same like intense kind of chocolatey flavor. And then with that, you would add another like quarter cup of butter into the recipe also.
All right, thanks, Tim.
Which would
Heather
be
also
like-
had a question.
Which would be like half a stick. Yep.
How long to microwave?
So start with a minute. It's going to take about 2.5 to 3 minutes in total to get everything melted and to like get everything like mixed together. So this is after a minute. What you're going to see is like the butter has started to melt, and that's okay.
So basically 1 minute intervals of melting?
Yeah,
slowly?
1 minute intervals, and then 30 seconds after that, just so we're not melting or we're not burning anything. If you're using cocoa powder, you're gonna put the cocoa powder with the chocolate chips and the butter into the microwave, and that's all gonna be mixed together. Yep, 30 seconds. So my sous chef Tatum is now putting the chocolate and butter back into the microwave for 30 seconds. So yeah, whatever chocolate you have, whatever butter you have, if you're using margarine, that's fine too. So this is all gonna go together in the microwave. Again, 30-second increments, and then stir it until everything comes together. And when mine's done here, I'll show you what it should look like. It should look really smooth. It should look really shiny because the butter and the chocolate have mixed together.
If you guys have any progress little shots you can give us and show us in your camera, that'd be cool. Ooh, Bobby, that looks good.
So down. So this is what mine looks like. So my butter is like kind of liquefied, and you still see some chunks. You'll see some chunks of chocolate in there. So we're gonna go back into the microwave for another 30 seconds.
So I had a question for Grady. Grady, how's your using the powder? Is it mixing well? Do you need any tips on mixing?
Yeah. It looks like this right now. It's mixing fine, I think.
Yep, just keep on mixing then, okay, bub? Good job.
Yeah, it's gonna take, a couple minutes for it to all come together.
All right.
Thanks, Grady.
Yep.
That needs to go.
No, it sounds kind of silly. Like, would you turn on the oven light?
All right, so we're waiting. Then we're gonna stir ours again and show you again what it's looking like. Camera down. So mixing it up, just because the residual heat of this, you'll see that mine's still kind of liquidy. I probably need to go in for 30 more seconds, and then we should be right where we want to be. And that would be like 3 minutes in total that Ours has been in the microwave. That looks good. Yeah.
Is
All right, guys, I just did a quick unmute all.
all right. Is this what it's supposed to look like?
Yeah, looks like it. It's pretty smooth.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it has a nice shine on the top, so that's that's exactly what you're looking for.
Nice. Good job, buddy. Like this.
Wow, it's already done. Alondra, you're all set?
June. Yes.
So now, I can't get it.
Michaela, let's see that. Let's see
Come
your
on.
brownies.
Okay.
Ooh, don't drip it. Don't pour it out.
Okay. I'll see it.
That looks good.
Thanks.
So if you guys haven't done so, make sure you guys get that oven preheated to 350.
Now, look at mine again. So mine's like really smooth, kind of shiny. It looks more like Tatum has a good point. It looks more like a glaze at this point.
Yes, and he's.
So now we're gonna set this aside, and this is gonna cool a little bit because now we're gonna go start working on our eggs and our sugar.
Oh, eggs, sugar.
And the reason we're gonna set that aside and cool a little bit is because if you add like a really hot liquid into eggs when you're mixing it, it's gonna scramble them. You got a question?
All right, Alondra, what is your question?
How many minutes?
For which part, Alondra?
How many minutes for the baking oven?
Oh, for the baking? Are you using a box?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you're using the mix. Yeah, just if you could follow the instructions on the box and that, so you're good there.
Great. Thanks, Alondra.
Okay.
So now our next part that we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our eggs, your sugar, your vanilla, and salt. And now we're gonna cream this together. So, yep, you can crack the eggs.
All right, let's repeat that one more time, guy.
So we're gonna crack our three regular eggs into the bowl with 1 cup of sugar, 1 tablespoon of vanilla, and then if you're using salt in the recipe, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, not too much salt.
You guys could also refer back to the Instagram post with the ingredients list on it as well.
1 cup of sugar. Actually, I want to show them how to separate the egg. So the way that I'll separate the egg, and I'll show you. I'm just going to use my hands to do it. So crack the egg open, crack it right into your hand, and that's going to separate the yolk off. You can kind of give it a shake in your hand. So that way you just have the yolk, and that's going to go into the bowl. And you're going to get rid of the white or the clear liquid that comes from the egg. Mm-hmm. You can actually pour it right into the, you end up, doesn't have to be exact. If you put a little more sugar in there, it's not going to be a big deal.
It tastes like sugar.
It'll taste way better. We have our vanilla. Yeah, 1 teaspoon of vanilla. and then salt, or a quarter teaspoon of salt. All right. Now what we're going to do with this, so if you have a mixer, electric mixer, we're going to beat this together for 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes. And what this is going to do is what is a baking term of creaming together products, which is just beating the egg into the sugar so the sugar helps dissolve into the eggs. And so you get like equal disbursement of sugar in the brownie as it's baking, rather than like cooking into the brownie in like different parts. So if that makes sense to everybody. Any questions?
How are we doing, guys? Any questions
up to this point? So everybody should start beating your eggs and your sugar together, and you can time this for about 3 to 5 minutes. So I'm going to go now, and then I'll be done at like 2:51. Yeah.
Tim, there was a question, whisk or paddle for the mixer?
The whisk.
Whisk.
And if you don't have a mixer, and if you're just using like a regular whisk, then you're not going to beat this for 3 to 5 minutes because your arm is going to fall off. What you can do is just mix the ingredients together. What you'll end up having with the brownie is this is going to create like a lightness to the brownie. It's going to kind of be between like a super fudgy brownie and like a cakey brownie. And then, so that's just be some of the difference that you have if you're just using like a whisk, if you're using like a handheld whisk to mix versus using the mixer.
Yeah, Tim, could you kind of take it from the top a little bit and kind of go through the steps real quickly and refresh the kids up?
Sure. So at this point, you have three whole eggs, 1 egg yolk, and then 1 cup of sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and a quarter teaspoon of salt in the egg mixture. And working on beating this for about 3 to 5 minutes with your electric mixer. All right. No. Yep.
Yeah, hey, Bobby. Bobby, could you show us again your what you have so far? Because that earlier looked amazing.
Oh yeah, I've already put it in the oven.
Ooh, get a little picture through that window in the oven. Get a little video for us.
See it?
Ooh, you put little nuts, little crushed. Was that peanuts or almonds?
Those are walnuts.
Nice, dude.
Good.
It's a great touch.
How to use them. All right, so now at this point, you have your egg mixture. Is everybody's egg mixture set, good to go? I'll show you what mine looks like. So mine is kind of fluffy, has some foam on top. That's just the air that's been beaten into the eggs. And we have our egg mixture now. So now the next step that we're going to do is we're going to put these two mixtures together. So that'll finish off our brownie mixture or brownie batter. So what we're going to do is, because you whipped the egg and the sugar together, you're going to fold this into it, which means you're going to gently mix them together or kind of incorporate them, one mixture over the other. So you're going to kind of pour this slowly. If you want to put the camera down a little bit. So yeah, you're going to pour this slowly and then just kind of use your, if you have a rubber spatula, you can kind of dip it into the bottom of the bowl, slide it across the bottom, and then turn it over the top. You don't want to take any of the air out of the egg mixture that you just made. Now it's going to be cool because this is going to be kind of like, it's going to be kind of marbly as you mix it, but you do want it to be totally brown when you're done mixing. So see, the kind of technique that I'm using is to dip the spatula down and then just kind of turn the ingredients over each other.
Boy, this is making me hungry.
I have another batch of brownies in the oven now, and those are making me hungry. So this will start to thicken up a bit as you're mixing the two together, and it will look more like, you know, if you've made like a box brownie mixture, if you've made scratch brownies before, it's going to look like a brownie batter. So it's going to look like that. If everybody can see that pretty okay. So it's so for now, at this point, you can, if you have walnuts at home, or if you have like extra chocolate chips at home, or if you have some other stuff that you like in your brownie, now is the perfect time to add that stuff in and mix it in. Again, like gently fold that into your brownie batter before we put it into our baking dish, before we put that in the oven, just so you're not, you don't take any air out of the brownie batter.
All right, guys, thumbs up if you guys are all doing good, everything going well.
So now I have my baking dish. This is an 8x8 baking dish. This is what I normally use for brownies because they're going to be a little bit thicker. If you have a larger baking dish, like a 12x6, which is another one that I have actually in the oven now, that's going to change how much time they're going to be in the oven for. So this one, if you're using like an 8x8 dish, like a cake pan, something like this, or if you have a square metal pan, that's like a little bit smaller. These are going to take about 30 to 35 minutes in the oven, just because they're going to be a little bit thicker and you want them to be set all the way in the middle.
Tegan had a question.
Yeah.
How much cocoa powder should we add to our batter if we were to add some?
If you're going to use cocoa powder in with the butter, that should have gone in with the butter. That you were going to use about 3/4 cup of cocoa powder. If you're going to add that now, that's okay too. You would just you can mix that in to the mixture that we have here. You could use the beater with that. your brownie will probably end up being like a little bit denser, but that's okay too. It's going to be probably have a little bit more of a fudginess to it than it would like kind of a lighter brownie, which is the one that I'm making here. Any other questions right now?
Gonna do a little unmute all. How we doing, guys?
Good.
Good. I'm doing good.
All right. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to grease the bottom of the baking dish half here.
Oops, sorry about that. Say that again. I just muted you by accident.
It's all good. I'm going to use a coconut cooking spray. You can also use butter. You can use margarine. You can use coconut oil if you have like stuff like that at home. Anything that's just like grease based or oil based that's going to not allow your brownie to stick to the bottom of the pan, because that would be probably the worst thing to happen.
Then you don't get any brownies.
If you doubled the recipe, what size, it would depend on what size dish you're using on the amount of time. If you're using like a larger baking dish, you're probably going to go like 40 to 45 minutes to start. And then you can go in like 5 to 10 minute increments until the center is set, and I'll show you what that means because I have a batch working right now. 11 by 14. Yeah, you're probably going to go like 40 to 45 minutes on those brownies. So I'm going to spray the bottom of my pan with the coconut oil. My lovely assistant Tatum is going to pour the batter into the dish.
By the way, big round of applause for Tatum for being his assistant today.
All of that. Someone spilled their drink.
It looks delicious.
You gotta get all that in there.
What do you think I'm doing?
Do you want me to hold the bowl?
Honestly, I really don't get it.
I actually shouldn't lick the spatula. Raw egg. But that is usually the best part of making brownies. All right, so now we have our brownie mixture in our, and these are going to go into the oven. So one part about baking is if you're using your oven, ovens all can act a little bit differently. If you're using like an electric oven, it might, the temperature might vary a little bit. So roughly you're going to start with about 30 to 35 minutes for this particular batch, and for this particular pan. So now we're going to go in the oven, and you want to set this on like the middle rack and like the most center part of the oven that you can, because that's going to be like equal distribution of heat when you're baking. Throw those in, we take the other ones out.
Good.
Let's see some, be careful, we're putting stuff in the oven.
Yeah.
I already did.
Me too. I didn't even burn myself.
No burn?
Oh, burning yourself.
Tatum would
don't
be
burn.
proud of me.
The first batch that I made, and you'll see they have like kind of a nice shiny sheen on the top of them. And no. And then when you're testing the brownie, when it comes out of the oven, you want the center to be set. So what you want to do is you could take like a butter knife, or you could take like a skewer if you have it. You just want to put that right in the center, or a toothpick. And if it comes out kind of clean like that, that means they're done. If there's a little bit sticking on there, that's okay. That just means that center's all the way set. And then you want to cool these all the way down before you go and cut them, just so they cut evenly and they don't fall apart when you go to try to take them out of the pan.
So just so you guys are not confused, Tim is not a magician. He didn't suddenly cook his brownies fully cooked. I think that was a separate batch that he cooked ahead of time.
Yeah, I did cook one ahead of time.
I think I saw a couple people like, what? How? What? So how we doing, guys? Let's see your progress.
I am a magician, actually.
We'll have to get a magic show. Maddie needs the Heimlich. No, she's good. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm going to set my timer for 35 minutes and then wait for these other ones to come out. So.
All right, guys. So whenever we have a guest chef, you're always very certain to say one big thing. And we always do it this way. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Give him a big round of applause.
Good job.
So guys, does anybody have any questions for Tim about like what it's like to be a chef?
That's a good question. I'm gonna ask a question. Tim, what's your favorite thing to cook? I don't cook at all, so what's your favorite?
Risotto. It's like an Italian rice dish. So you cook it slow.
Thank you.
Funny.
A nice cameo.
My dad's gonna go.
Risotto is probably my favorite dish to cook.
Nice.
Right.
Show them my stinky foot.
Or
What's up, dude?
Oh.
So I think Tim's taking care of the baby for a minute. So guys, what did you guys think of this activity? How did you guys like it so far?
Love it.
Alondra, let's could you aim your camera at your oven and see your brownies cooking? Or are you still mixing them?
Well, that is just 1 second.
Ooh,
those are looking good.
Yeah.
So I've made this batch a few times for some of the 6th graders that go to the club. So I hope they come out just as good.
Friend, are you gonna post the video of this like you did for the last one? Because
I am.
So my husband is cooking, I don't know, 12 kinds of stuffed shells right now. So we're gonna make the brownies for dessert once he's done using the oven. So if you can post the video, that'd be great so we can.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to post this video. It might take me until tomorrow morning. The longer videos, they take a little while to access.
That doesn't work for dessert.
It'll be breakfast.
It all depends on Zoom. Sometimes they send me an email real quick saying the video is ready. Sometimes it takes hours. So it all depends when I get that email. I'll do my best for it.
Everyone on Facebook's gonna see me choking on Pringles. Great.
Oh, somebody's getting yelled at by a bird.
No, my dad is yelling at the dog.
A dog. Okay. I thought we were yelling at a bird. That's all right.
My dog is trying to eat everything he can right now, so.
So guys, so today is also Thankful Thursday. So I know for one, I'm very thankful for Tim for helping us out today with this. But I also wanted to, Jamie, if you can hear me that. I also wanted to share with you guys my Thankful Thursday project. And that's this guy right here. It says, I'm thankful for Mrs. Good. She was my favorite teacher, and I was her favorite student. At least that's what she told me. So that's my Thankful Thursday card. I put it on Instagram. I encourage you guys to as well. I also encourage you guys to post your finished products of your brownies on Instagram with the hashtag virtual BGCL. And one more time, let me unmute everybody. Let's give a big round of applause for Tim the chef. So before we finish up,
has delicious brownies.
Awesome. Yeah, I think they're going to be excellent. I unfortunately cannot go to anybody's house to steal them, so you guys are lucky. I would love to see if there's any more questions anybody has for Tim. Maybe it's about what it's like to be an executive chef, about cooking, anything.
Sorry, I had to jump into the Zoom room and talk to the chef, but I'm all done.
So Tim, I understand you are, well, right now we're taking a break, but the restaurant, The Fix.
Yep.
And that's in Marlborough, Massachusetts.
In Marlborough, yep.
All right. I live in Marlborough, so I'll definitely be visiting when that place reopens.
Yep. Kimmy's been there a few times. I know she loves it.
Been there with us.
Yeah, one of those days I actually tried to stop by. I was going to come, and I pulled into the parking lot the same day the Infrared Sanger crew was there, and the entire parking lot was full. There was no parking spots. So I was like, well, guess we'll go to Five Guys.
Yep.
Sorry. But I definitely will be paying a visit to you guys sometime soon. Hopefully
Awesome.
Very soon.
Yeah, if you
All
like,
right, guys.
if you're burger fans, you definitely need to come out and check us out. And
Yeah, you guys got to go
milkshakes.
check out Tim at the Fix in Marlborough.
Is there a Fix in Worcester too, or no?
Yeah, it's on Grove Street in Worcester.
I think I've been to the Worcester one. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
Awesome.
All right.
Now I want a burger.
All right, guys. So I think that's going to wrap up our cooking club for this afternoon.
Brent, you look like a pilot.
I'm actually flying the plane right now. Yep. There's nobody on the plane because everybody's scared of the virus, and we're actually going to the Bahamas. I don't think they gave me permission to take the plane, but I don't need it right now.
Nobody's there, so.
Road plane.
Oh, Kristen, what do you got cooking over here?
I'm doing red velvet cupcakes.
Wait a minute. I don't see that.
Oh my
Delicious.
All right, guys. Does anybody else have anything to share?
Oh, Crispy, hi. Bring me a
All right.
cupcake.
I think that's going to wrap up our cooking club for today. Am I missing anything, guys? Am I forgetting anything?
Next week, what do we have to do next week?
Oh, I posted a BGCL bingo. Make sure you guys.
Oh yeah.
That was so cool. I was kind of confused. I thought Tatum made it up, and I was like, what's going on here? But yeah, that was great job, Crispy, on that one. So go on our Instagram and find the BGCL, virtual BGCL bingo. Play that and post it. That should be fun.
Bingo.
Yeah, bingo. Tonight, if you're an 8th grade or older, we got a special Zoom chat just for you guys. And tomorrow we have a schedule of 10 a.m. Zoom breakfast check-in. We do our movie at 3 o'clock, and that's going to be Guardians of the Galaxy. So what's the theme? Oh, the theme is showing off the movie for Friday. So we want you guys to do movie reviews Friday night after we watch the movie. Post them to Instagram. All right, guys. So let's give one more big round of applause to Chef Tim, and we'll sign off for the day. All right, guys.
Enjoy your brownies.
Thank you, Tim.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
You 7 p.m. It's only